Good morning po. Ang grupo po namin ang na-assign sa bank reconciliation at ipapaliwanag po namin kung anong kahalagan ng bank reconciliation. Sana po ay maintindihan nyo at may matutunan po kayo. Thank you. Motivation. You become what you believe. Three kinds of bank deposit. 1. Demand deposit. Demand deposit, current account or checking account, or commercial deposits, where deposits are covered by deposit slip and where funds are withdrawable on demand by drawing checks against the bank. Checking account or bank deposit. Ang lahat ng cash inflow nito, supported dapat ng deposit slip. Lahat naman ng cash outflow ay supported naman ng cheque. Hindi ka pwedeng makapag-withdraw dito sa checking account nang hindi nag-i-issue ng check. Saving deposit. The depositor is given a passbook upon the initial deposit. The passbook is required when making deposit and withdrawals. Time deposit. It is also interest bearing like the saving deposit. It is evidenced by a formal agreement called certificate of deposit. Time deposit may be minted or withdrawn on demand or after a certain period of time agreed upon. Time deposit, may certain amount ka na pera sa bangko na iset a time nila, nang hindi mo siya pwedeng galawin or withdrawin. Says natin ng time deposit at 60 days. Yung pera mo sa bangko na iset a time natin ng 60 days sa time deposit. Hindi mo siya pwedeng galawin ng 60 days until matapos yung 60 days na ibabalik nila yung pera na time deposit mo na yun na may kasama ng interest. Bank reconciliation is necessary for checking account or demand deposit. When an account is opened at the bank, the person authorized to draw check against the account will be required to sign cards furnished by the bank to show the specimen signatures to be used on checks. Sa bank reconciliation po, kailangan po yan sa mga checking accounts po. And din po yan, to save money and verify cash flows. Yun po.
Before we proceed to our topic, let's see first this example that shows the transaction of an entity, namely Company T, together with its bank, the BDO. On the left side, you will see the record of Company T, and on the right side is for the record of the bank. Ang unang transaction ay noong September 24, 2020. Nag-deposit ng 100,000 si Company T para sa pagbubukas niya ng account sa BDO. Once na na-receive na ito ng bangko, ire-record na yon sa cash per bank account as deposit of 100,000 na ire-reflect naman ni Company T sa kanyang cash per book account. Ang second transaction ay noong September 25, 2020. Si Customer A ay personally nagbayad ng 20,000 for their liability to Company T, which is shown on the transaction na nasa cash per book account ni Company T, dated September 25 as collection, and upon depositing it to the bank, i-reflect lang ito sa deposit with the same amount. Ang pangatlong transaction ay nangyari noong September 29, 2020. Mag-i-issue ng check ang company amounting to 10,000. Remember, in dealing checks, automatic magde-negative ang record mo sa cash per book dahil nagbayad ka ng liability mo. However, the check in this case is not yet reflected to the cash per bank dahil sa October 1st pa ito ipepresent ng customer sa bangko. Same date, September 29, 2020, nagkaroon ng collection ang Company T with the amount of 15,000 and i-record lang iyon sa cash per book dahil hindi niya pa ito i-deposit sa bangko. Same date, September 29, 2020. Nagkaroon ng bank charges ang entity in the amount of 2,000 without the knowledge of the company. Itong charges na ito ay para sa services na nire-render ng bangko in keeping the record and money safe. Kaya wala ito sa record ng cash per book kasi hindi pa aware ang company T sa charges na ito. On September 30, 2020, si Customer B ay nagbayad ng liabilities nito sa company T pero yung payment ay directly niya pinasok sa bangko without the knowledge of the entity kaya di pa ito nare-record sa cash per book account ng company T. Let's say na natapos na yung period for the month of September and kinuha na yung total ni company T and ni BDO. Ang cash per book ay may total na 125,000 and ang cash per bank naman ay may 153,000. As you can see, hindi sila balance kaya dito papasok ang bank reconciliation. It is says here that it is a statement which brings into agreement the cash balance per book and cash balance per bank. To make it more simple, when we say bank reconciliation, ini-equal niya yung balance ni cash per book and cash per bank. As you can see sa example kanina, they have a different total with 125,000 sa cash per book and 153,000 naman sa cash per bank. Ito ay kailangan i-reconcile to make it balance para ito sa preparation of the bank statement na nire-release ng bangko every end of the month or period, which consists of the summary of financial transaction ng isang entity.
Nagkakaroon ng bank reconciliation kapag hindi equal ang balance per book at balance per bank. So, sa paggawa ng bank reconciliation, dapat natin i-consider lahat ng reconciling items. Sa book reconciling items, meron tayong credit memos, debit memos, and errors. Sa bank reconciling items naman, meron tayong deposit in transit and outstanding checks and errors. So, hindi may iwasan na magkaroon ng errors ang bawat balance statements. So, sa credit memos, ito daw yung mga items na nakakredit sa bank statement pero hindi pa nare-record ni book o entity as cash receipts. So, halimbawa, kung may nagbayad sa'yo na halip na directed sa'yo, ay sa bank account mo na lang nagbayad. So, yun yung example ng credit memos. So, debit memos. Ito daw yung mga items na deduction sa bank statement na hindi pa nare-record ni book or entity as cash disbursements. Pwede daw itong hindi form of checks. So, isang halimbawa nito ay ang bank service charge. So, dahil nagpasok ka ng account sa isang bangko, automatic na magkakaroon yun ng service charge. So, yun yung example ng debit memos. So, sa bank reconciling items naman, deposit in transit. So, ito daw yung mga items na i-deposit pa lang. Naka-record na siya sa book statement ni entity as cash receipts pero hindi pa siya nagre-reflect sa bank statement. So, ang example nito, yung halimbawa mga collection mo nung end of the month, halimbawa September 30, naka-collect ka, then syempre, maide-deposit mo na yon sa October. Then, naka-record na yon as September sa'yo, pero sa bank is recorded yon as October. So, yun yung deposit in transit. Meron tayong outstanding checks. So, ang outstanding checks naman ay yung mga cheque na i-issue mo na or naibigay mo na sa payee or sa pinagbayaran mo, pero hindi niya pa nape-present sa bank. Kasi na sa pangangalaga niya pa, hawak-hawak niya pa. Ayaw niya pa ang papalitan sa kanilang kadahilanan. So, yun yung outstanding checks. Magiging certified checks yun kung naipresent na ng payee yung check na yun sa bangko. At yung bangko ay na-claim na yun at nalagyan na ng certified yung cheque. Kaya magiging certified checks na siya.
So, ang i-discuss ko naman is adjusted balance method. The book balance and the bank balance are brought to a correct cash balance that must appear on balance sheet. So, ano to? Simple lang. Yung pinaka-thought kasi dito is yung mga transaction na nangyari sa bank dapat ma-record din sa book yung transaction na nangyari sa book, dapat ma-record din sa bank. Bale, i-adjust mo yun. Dito na tayo sa example. Company T book, tsaka yung BDO bank. So, dito muna tayo sa Company T. Nung September 28, 2020, nagkaroon siya ng transaction na check, which is 10,000 pesos. Ito yung outstanding check na tinatawag. Kasi nga, ito yung check na in-issue niya na, tas na-collect na rin ni supplier A. Kaso, hindi pa present ni supplier A sa bank. Present niya lang nung August 1. Kaya ayun, hindi pa nagre-reflect sa bank yung bawas. Tas ito naman, nung September 29, nagkaroon ng collection 15,000. Bale, ang mangyayari dito sa collection na to, magiging deposits in transit to. Kasi nga, na-record na sa book na nagkaroon siya ng collection, pero sa bank hindi pa kasi hindi niya pa dineposit. Bale, sa book lang may record, sa bank wala pa kasi hindi niya dineposit eh. Hindi naman pwedeng mag-record si bank ng 15,000 dun hanggat walang dinedeposit yung si Company T. So, ito naman, dito naman tayo sa BDO Bank. Nakikita nyo naman nung September 29, bank charges. Ito, magiging debit memo to kasi binawasan niya yung account ni Company T, which is yung mga bank charges. Tapos ito naman, credit memo. May nag-deposit sa bangko ni Company T nang hindi nila alam. Nag-reflect na to. Pati yung debit memos, nag-reflect na tong mga to. Yung transaction na to. Pero sa book, hindi pa nag-reflect kasi nga hindi niya nga alam eh. Bale yung bank din, bale yung book, di rin nila alam na may bank charges. Parang ganun. Hindi nila alam na kung kailan binawas yung bank charges. So yun, credit memo yung 35,000 kasi nga nadagdagan yung account ni Company T. Debit memo yung sa bank charges kasi nga nabawasan yung account niya. So dito tayo sa computation. Ito yung format ng computation, book balance. Ito yung book balance na sinasabi dito, yung total. Yung total na nasa book. Nakita nyo naman. 125,000. Tapos i-add mo yung credit memo, which is 35,000 pesos. Tapos magto-total yun ng 160,000 pesos. Ileles mo yung debit memo na 2,000 pesos. Bale, ang adjusted book balance is 158,000. Dito naman tayo sa bank. Bank balance is 153,000. Ito naman, nakikita naman yung amount niya. Tapos, i-add natin yung deposit in transit, which is 15,000 pesos. Tapos, magto-total yun ng 168,000 pesos. Ileles natin yung outstanding check, which is 10,000 pesos. And yung magiging adjusted bank balance is 158,000. Kitang-kita naman na parehas sila ng pinaka-total. Kaya, yun, yan yung bank reconciliation. Dito naman tayo sa adjusting entries. Ayan, to record the payment of customer V. So, dito tayo sa credit memos. Ito yung nangyari sa credit memos. Bale, ang magiging entry niyan is cash in bank 35,000 pesos. At account receivable 35,000 pesos. Tapos, dito naman sa, to record the bank service charge. Ito naman yung debit memo. Mag-debit tayo ng bank service charge 2,000 pesos. Tas cash in bank 2,000 pesos. Nag-credit tayo ng cash in bank na 2,000 pesos kasi nabawasan yung pera natin. To record the outstanding check. Ito na lang nilagay ko na description kasi hindi ko alam kung ano eh. Cash in bank is 10,000 pesos. Tapos, accounts payable is 10,000 pesos din. Kaya siya naka-debit dito kasi nga, hindi pa nagre-reflect kay bank yung 10,000 pesos. Hindi pa na pe-present kay bank yung 10,000 pesos na check ni supplier. So, bale, at the end of the month, i-adjust mo yan, i-debit mo yan, kasi pera mo pa rin yan, kasi hindi niya pa nakukuha sa bank. Ibig sabihin, pag-aari mo pa rin yung 10,000 pesos na yan. Tapos magke-credit ng credit ng accounts payable, kasi nga, bale nung pagka-issue mo ng check, magre-record ka na kagad na na debit accounts payable, tapos credit cash in bank. So kapag in-adjust mo, babaliktarin mo lang. So yung pinaka-last natin, 'di ba? Napansin nyo, hindi tayo nag-record ng deposits in transit. Kasi nag-a-adjust lang tayo sa natin, sa book natin. Sa book natin. Ang lang naman dito is hindi lang na-record ni bank. Bale hindi natin gagalawin 'yun kasi nga si bank yung hindi naka-record. Buti kung tayo yung hindi naka-record. Katulad nito sa number 1, to record the payment of customer B. Hindi tayo naka-record nun, kaya ni-record natin. So, ganun lang 'yan. Ayun, salamat.
The bank balances. Meaning na ginagawa itong method na to upang ang book of balance ay ma-adjust at mag-equal sa bank balances. Pag ang reconciliation o ang pagkakasundo ay nag-umpisa sa book of balance at nagtapos sa bank balance, ang usual book reconciling items na ginagamit ay parehas sa reconciling items na ginagamit sa adjusted balance method, kung saan ina-add ang credit memos at dinideduct ang debit memos. Ngunit, ang mga bank reconciling items ay naiiba at nare-reverse or nababaliktad. So, ano nga ba ang reverse or reversal rule? So, kanina, kung nakita ninyo doon sa adjustment balance method, sa bank balance, inad ang deposit in transit at niles ang outstanding check. Dito naman sa book to bank method, baliktad. I-add mo na yung outstanding checks at ililes ang deposit in transit. Bakit? Because deposits in transit already increase the book balance but have no effect on the bank balance because the deposits are not yet recorded by the bank. Consequently, the book balance is overstated in relation to the bank balance. Ibig sabihin, yung deposits in transit, na-increase na nila yung book of balance, pero wala silang effect sa bank balance kasi hindi pa sila nare-record. So, pagdating sa book to bank method, ang deposits in transit ay madededuct na. On the other hand, outstanding checks already decrease the book balance but have no effect on the bank balance because the checks are not yet paid by the bank. Consequently, the book balance is understated in relation to the bank balance. Meaning, yung outstanding checks, na-decrease niya na yung book balance, pero wala pa siyang epekto sa bank balance dahil yung checks na yun are not yet paid o hindi pa nababayaran ng bangko. Kaya pagdating sa book to bank method, ang outstanding checks ay maa-add na. So, ang magiging format na ng book to bank method is book balance, add credit memos and outstanding checks, total, less debit memos and deposits in transit equals bank balances.
Bank to book method. The bank balance is reconciled with the book balance or the bank balance is adjusted equal to the book balance. Ang cash balance per bank ay dapat tugma sa cash balance per book. Para mangyari yon o maging tugma ang balances nila, kailangan mong gumawa ng adjustments. Kailangan mong i-recognize or i-record na yung mga naka-record na sa book ni depositor. Tapos kung may mga bank errors, kasama na rin yun. After that, dapat equal ang balances nila. Formation ng bank to book method. Bank balance amount, add deposits in transit amount, debit memos amount, total amount.
less credit memos amount, outstanding checks amount, book balance amount. Company T book September 24, 2020, Thursday, transaction deposit amount 100,000. September 25, 2020, Friday, transaction collection amount 20,000. September 28, 2020, transaction check amount 10,000. Outstanding check dahil ang check ay na-issue na at ibinigay na sa supplier ngunit hindi pa ito na-represent o naipapakita sa bank. September 29, 2020, transaction collection amount 15,000. Deposits in transit sapagkat ito ay naitala na or na-record na ng depositor ngunit hindi pa nare-reflect sa bank. Total amount 125,000. BDO Bank date September 24, 2020, Thursday, transaction deposit amount 100,000. September 25, 2020, Friday, transaction deposit amount 20,000. September 29, 2020, transaction bank charges amount 2,000. Debit memo because it is bank service charges. September 30, 2020, transaction deposit amount 35,000. Credit memo dahil ang deposit ay tapos nang na-credit ng bank, ngunit hindi pa to nare-record ng Company T.
Makikita nyo dito sa presentation namin, doon sa book to bank method is nag-umpisa siya sa book balance amounting to 125,000, add credit memos amounting to 35,000, and outstanding check amounting to 10,000. So 35,000 plus 10,000 is equals to 45,000. 45,000 will be added to the book balance of 125,000 and the total is 170,000. Less debit memos amounting to 2,000 and deposit in transit amounting to 15,000. So the bank balance or the total that we got is 153,000.
One eternity later.
So kung mapapansin nyo, parehas na yung bank balance natin dito sa book to bank method at yung bank balance doon sa unadjusted bank balances. So dito naman sa bank to book method, katulad nung sinabi ni Jean, is magi-start tayo sa bank balance. So bank balances is amounting to 153,000, add debit memos amounting to 2,000, and deposit in transit amounting to 15,000. 2,000 plus 15,000 is 17,000. 17,000 will be added to the bank balance, which is 153,000, and the total is 170,000. Less credit memos amounting to 35,000 and outstanding check amounting to 10,000. So, our book balance is 125,000. So, kung mapapansin nyo ulit, is yung book balance natin dito sa bank to book method is equal or same na siya dun sa unadjusted book balance natin kanina. Ang purpose ng book to bank method is para ang book balance ay mag-equal sa bank balance. And yung purpose naman ng bank to book method is para ang bank balance is mag-equal sa book balance. So, yun, that ends our presentation. Sana nagustuhan at naintindihan nyo. So, Thank you, Ma'am Tan, and thank you, classmates. Keep safe and God bless po.
Before we end the report, let's have a quick summary of what we have discussed for today. There are three bank deposits. Demand deposit that has high liquidity since it allows you to withdraw anytime, as long as you will notify your bank beforehand. Saving deposit, it also provides security and provides higher interest, but it won't allow you to have direct withdrawal. Time deposit, or also known as term deposit, have fixed term or period where your money should remain in the account for it to earn interest and get withdrawn. Bank reconciliation is a necessary thing to do in preparation of the bank statement at the end of every month or period. It balances your book account and bank account and confirms that payment, collection, and deposits has been properly recorded in an entity's bank account. There are various reconciling items that is part of bank reconciliation, namely debit memo such as bank charges, credit memo which reduces the accounts receivable from a customer, deposit in transit that records deposit that has been received by an entity but is not yet recorded and processed by its bank, outstanding checks that has been issued by an entity but is not yet been exchanged into a cash and cleared in the bank, and lastly, errors, which may arise when there's a mistake in recording other entities' transaction to your account. You also learned the three different methods that will help you reconciling the book balance and the bank balance. First is adjusted book balance, where the book balance and the bank balance are brought to a correct cash balance. Second is book to bank, where the book balance is reconciled with the bank balance or the book balance is adjusted to equal the bank balance. Lastly is equal to book, where the bank balance is adjusted to equal the book balance. However, the adjusted balance method is much preferred to use over the other two methods. And that ends the Chapter 3 Bank Reconciliation. If you have some questions, you are free to ask me anytime. Thank you again for listening. Keep safe and as much as possible, stay at home. God bless.